Hello and welcome, everyone. We are so happy to have you here with us on this beautiful presentation, really sharing more about how is autism genetic, why genes don't define us, and how the environment and nutrition really help shape the expression. And so this is a really beautiful presentation, and I'm so excited that my dear friend Anna Marie is here, and she's going to be presenting on this today. She is a beautiful mother of two vibrant daughters and the proud wife of Dave Sandoval. She's also the president of the Awaken Project, and Anna Marie comes from a background working as a behavioral specialist for kids on the autism spectrum for over a decade now. So she's been teaching and learning from children, and it's one of her greatest passions. So she's devoted to this mission of healing for families and the rising of knowledge in the neurodiverse community. So she's been advocating and supporting beings to reach their highest potentials through holistic health for many, many years, and she's super passionate on this topic. And so before we dive into that topic, we're going to go ahead and ask one of our friends here to unmute themselves and read the pledge to us. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the pledge, and let's see. If you'll go ahead and unmute yourself and read this to us. Thank you so much for being a part of our community.
Hello, my name is Gabrielle, and I'm so happy and honored to be here. I am definitely a MOM, and I pledge to defend the truth and health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and free of man-made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on
Yeah,
all
yeah. Thank you, sister.
on all aspects of clean living. I understand my actions today will positively impact the health and environment of future generations. I am committed to sharing this movement of many, and I am a Million Mile movement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gabrielle. And if you'd like
Thank
to
you.
share a little bit about what this movement means to you, we'd love to just hear from you.
Thank you so much. I started with Pirium 9 months ago, and it has been such a beautiful blessing for me and my family because when my son was up in kindergarten, he was diagnosed with high functioning autism. And my husband is also bipolar since he was 19 years of age. Heavy medications, we tried everything. And so I never gave up on trying to find solutions. Diet, doctors' opinions, doctor's diet, medications. And medications only had serious consequences to this day. And so when trying Purium, it was a beautiful experience. And it just keeps getting better and better. And I'm happy to say my son is off medications, doing great. My husband is too. And because we were designed to have full nutrition and wonderful foods. And when we have access to that, and now with Imperium to detox from all the harmful chemicals, what a difference it makes. And for me, myself, I am sleeping so great. I have lost 75 pounds, and my nervous system and my energy is totally turned around. And it is a huge blessing. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for sharing that, Gabrielle. What a beautiful testimony to what it is that we're here to share today. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing and reading the pledge. And I'm so happy that you're here. So without further ado, Anna Marie, take it away. I'm so happy you're here.
Oh, thank you so much, Naiva, for that wonderful introduction. Thank you, Gabrielle, again for sharing your story, and we so appreciate you. Thank you for sharing that pledge with us and making that promise together with us. It's really so important to our community and to us personally because the more that we can do individually, the more we can do on a grander scale, right? When we can take care of the micro, that's when we really can affect the macro. So thank you so much. And thank you everybody to joining us on this call today. Like I always say, it is very near and dear to my heart. I feel that neurodiversity and the world of awareness and understanding, and well, I would like to actually say understanding, and how to reach into our highest potentials with our superpowers is one of the purposes I feel in my life, to really bring that to light and to reality for everybody on the spectrum, anybody who considers themselves neurodivergent. And I believe that all of us have a kind of type of form of neurodivergence really within us. It's all just a matter of how our body is being supported and nourished, and to what exact levels that we're really uh, taking different notice of what's taking place in our body. And with that, I'd like to talk a little bit about what is neurodivergence. So, a lot of people wonder, because there's a lot of different new terminology now as we come to more awareness and more people having an understanding of what's taking place for those who have neurodivergence. There's a lot of new terminology. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about that with you guys. There's a great metaphor that no two snowflakes are alike, and no two people are alike exactly. So although we all might be a place of neurodivergent, it doesn't make us all the same. So just because somebody is neither neurodivergent doesn't mean they are all going through the same things or growing through the same things, I like to say. And neurodiversity is really just a natural, different way of how the brain system is working, how people are thinking, processing, learning, and expressing themselves. So it really is nothing that is something we need to cure. It's just a different way of being. And we like to be able to support people in all their different ways of being. And we think that nutrition and nourishment is one of the highest ways that we can support a body who is neurodivergent. And I want to also get into more detail of the terminology of neurodivergence and neurodiversity. So neurodiversity is an umbrella term for how different minds might work. But autism, which is something that I um, really have a passion for helping people with autism, and I have a really big autism connection in my life with many blessed souls who are autistic, and they bless my life up. So I feel that I have a lot of experience with people on the spectrum, and it's given me so many doors of knowledge. And in my opinion, knowledge is power. So, um, autism is a type of neurodivergence within that umbrella. And on this call, we really focus on autism specifically, but I'll often use the term neurodiversity because it gives space to all of those that are experiencing a different type of thinking and processing. And a lot of what we're talking about can help everybody who is neurodivergent, not just specifically autistic. So, with that being said, I just want to talk a little bit more about um, what might be causing autism. And that is the topic of this call, not necessarily what's causing autism, but the question of, is it epigenetics? Is it our genes? Is it our environment, our epigenetics? So we really believe that it is a combination of both. So there is a gene that is contributing to being neurodivergent or being on the autism spectrum. But a lot of our environment during early development will take a play and a role in what we call it a spectrum, right? Because it can be on all kinds of different levels and variations, and play different roles in our lives. So Somebody may be pre-verbal and really struggling to express their emotions, and that might be and having a lot of different other symptoms going on without being able to have those expressions, right? And somebody might also be on the autism spectrum, but they're very, have a lot of communication with their words, might seem like they are uh, pretty neurotypical, but they might be dealing with a lot of similar things that somebody who doesn't have their words and is expressing autism in a much different way. So that's why we call it a spectrum, because it can be expressed in all different forms, yet a lot of what's going on is very similar to each other. Do I have any questions, by the way? I've been doing a lot of talking, and one of my favorite parts of this call is getting to hear from people who are on the call who want to express themselves. And we love to give voice to everybody who feels the desire to express their voice regarding neurodiversity and what we're talking about. So if there's anybody who has a question about what I'm saying or wants to give a share, please let me know. I should have said that at the beginning of the call, but it's coming to me now. um, so one of the environmental factors that I really want to focus on today is our nutrition. So depending on also who the person is and what their body is going through, or whatever symptoms they're suffering from that they're trying to give a little bit more attention to so that they can be in their highest potential, it can vary, right? So what we're going to suggest about different nutritional tips might work for some, but not work for everybody. And it's kind of, just like anything with Purium, it's going on with what your exact needs are. We really think that it's important that there is no one recipe that fits everybody. And so it's up to us to learn the most that we can and apply it to what our body is needing exactly. But these are some nutritional tips and some different products that we have found to be super supportive for a body on the autism spectrum and for people who are neurodivergent. And again, if anybody has any questions, please let me know. And I'm going to go ahead and share our new neurodiversity pack. I'm not sure if it's neurodiverse pack or neurodiversity pack.
Looks
It's
like
brand
Gabrielle
new.
has her hand raised if we want to let her share a little bit. Gabrielle, did you want to come on?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I am so happy, and I have seen so many benefits to my son. He's now 22 years old. He was diagnosed with having high functioning autism since he was in kindergarten. So I'm happy to say that he has greatly improved his calmness and his thinking and his racing thoughts with just the ULT, but we have also added the uh the brain pack, which is the Revivalol and the Pineal Clear. And recently we had the beautiful new neurodivergent pack, and we are so happy to add it in. So coming tomorrow, we're going to have In Focus and the Green Spectrum, because we have all the other elements needed for the ultra neurodivergent pack. And it's only going to get better, because now he's 22 years old and he has so many people that he works with telling him this and this and that. And he is so happy because his mood is calmer, his focus is clearer, and it's only gotten better. I recently we also added the adrenal pack, which is the white ginseng, American white ginseng, and the Be Energetic. And we are also happy with it too, because stress levels also play a part of that.
Mhm.
And we're just so happy. I mean, We are so grateful for Purium. Thank you.
Well, we are so grateful for you and very thankful for your share. Thank you again, Gabrielle. We really appreciate it. So a lot of what she described is exactly what we are, hoping to uh help others receive who are neurodivergent. And the ways that we think these products put together will help is pretty significant. And so I'm going to share a little bit more about if you heard Gabrielle say the neurodiversity biohack pack is the one I'm going to share with you guys about because we've put it together specifically in thoughts and consideration of the autistic body and the neurodivergent brain. So, the first product that we are just completely 1,000%, if somebody asks me, what should I give to my blank, because everybody has a person who's on the spectrum in their life, I believe at this point. Um, what product do you recommend most? I would say, or not recommend, excuse me, I didn't say that. What product would you suggest to help support them the most? I would say is our biomedic. And the reason why is because if you guys have not heard of our biomedic, it removes glyphosate from the body, which is, I would say, one of the number one culprits. Glyphosate is the number one culprit of causing suffering in bodies, all of our bodies, but most specifically our sweet little bodies, little kid bodies on the autism spectrum. And grown people, or all of us, it's really so like kind of catastrophic having to be flooded with glyphosate in all of our foods when you're just trying to nourish your child, so or person that you're feeding. And so at least, if you don't have access to all organic food, being able to have biomedic in your pocket or in your cupboards, in your purse, I'd keep it in my purse because if we ever go out to eat, I mean, we pretty much take our biomedic on the regular, but if we don't, we definitely have it in my purse, even if I'm giving it to my loved ones who are joining me for a meal out. So that's pretty much the only time we go out is to, join others that are inviting us somewhere and we'd like to enjoy their company. So we keep a biomedic in our purse to be able to take get that glyphosate out as soon as possible. And being able to remove glyphosate from the body and begin healing the gut, which is the other miraculous part of biomedic, is that we can begin healing the gut with the prebiotics and probiotics. And I mean, we have witnessed ourselves, kids within 1 to 3 days see a significant difference in their body's digestion when starting to take biomedic at the awaken retreats. So biomedic really makes a massive difference on the body's ability to heal and to um, begin to be living in its highest potential. After biomedic, we also have the green spectrum. The reason why we recommend green spectrum in our uh, neurodiversity pack is because it's straight to the core greens. So a lot of people who have autism or who are neurodivergent have a lot of sensitivities to a lot of different things. And so it's really helpful. The green spectrum is just the bare goods, the bare necessities. So it has a lot of elements in it also that help detox the body. So green spectrum is a super power in itself to be drinking. And what we like about it is when you're able to combine it with things, you can get the flavor so delicious. We combine it sometimes with the apothecary, I believe it was, and sometimes with appleberry, and tastes like Fruity Pebbles, which if you are trying to give the green shake to a younger child is extremely helpful if it has a flavor of something like that. And if you're introducing the green spectrum to a child who's neurodivergent, I highly recommend you put it in a cup that they're able to see the color of it and use that color to your advantage of talking about whatever they're into, whether they're into Hulk shakes or maybe it is, you know, Halloween is coming up and you're gonna have green monster potion, or we could make it for my daughter. A lot of times we talk about it being dinosaur juice because she's really, really into dinosaurs. So depending on what your kiddo might be into, having fun with the green color is a really good way to get them into drinking their greens. Also, giving them the power to shake their power shake or their green spectrum, whatever shake they're drinking, is also a really fun and sensory providing way to get a kiddo into drinking these greens. If anybody is looking for a way to introduce this to their kids, that makes it a little bit more fun. Definitely try and make it so that it's visible for them. Okay, so next up, if there are not any questions thus far, I'm going to talk a little bit about our zinc aid. So, zinc aid, if you don't see the play on words through the name, we got zinc in there, vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, which are all super essentials for a lot of people on the spectrum who are struggling to get some of their most needed nutrients and minerals into their body and vitamins into their body. A lot of people on the spectrum tend to have sensitivities to foods and textures and have a tendency to eat their safety foods, which are foods that are super safe and comfortable and know what to expect and are delicious and get their hunger needs met. And so a lot of times when we are eating our safety foods, which is so totally understandable. Sometimes my girl who is on the spectrum too, we get caught up in a lot of our safety foods, but it's such a blessed way that we can drink our green shakes and have our zinc aid and other different support through our supplements here, knowing that I don't have to worry, is she getting the right nutrients? Because I know she's getting the right nutrients via the zinc aid and our green spectrum or power shake or whatever shake that we are choosing to make and blend up. So that's also another beautiful thing, is the ability to blend whatever you're needing in whatever your kids already love. So it doesn't ever have to be a deleting items out of your person's diet. It can simply be adding these things into what they already love, and it will still make a grand difference for them. And you'll start to be able to see the difference in their body because their rigidity of needing their certain foods is going to start to loosen up. Their grasp on the safety foods is going to start to be like this. And that's going to be because their body's nutrient needs are met. So their sensory sensitivities are going to be less alarmed and be able to handle more and try more and be accepting of more. So it's really a super beautiful full circle of how the nutrition balances a lot of the other things that are causing suffering for the person on the spectrum or who is neurodivergent. And the next product that we have that I want to talk about in our pack is In Focus. And oh my gosh, I'm like newly reborn into my excitement of In Focus. So when we were doing the Awaken project, In Focus was a tool that we had on hand for everybody, but most especially our kiddos on the spectrum. And I knew of its superpowers and its real medicine. But recently, I was with David and we were in our kitchen talking about some things going on with our little one um and some things going on with our own like racy minds, as there's been a lot of different things going on in our lives, and we realized, hey, have we been taking In Focus much? And we had it within our supplements, and he picked it up, and he has autism himself. And he's like, I'm gonna give it a try, because I was like, how does it taste? I kind of forgot, like, how does it even taste? Does Neela like how In Focus tastes? So he had some of it, and he reported that like within like 15 minutes or so, like pretty right away, he had so much of the noise that's always clouding his focus. There's a lot of outer chatter that he feels goes on that he has to filter out to be able to focus on what's going on. And it's awesome. That was a really clear expression, I feel, for what a lot of people on the spectrum tend to, or people who are neurodivergent tend to go through. And so we're going to start giving it more to our daughter. And I'm just very excited to have realized again how much it clears all those outer thoughts. And it's not just for people on the spectrum. I mean, for me, I was really excited because as mama, I have so many thoughts constantly racing in my head, and my anxiety can really get to me because there's so much input constantly coming in. And it can be hard when you're balancing a lot of things to be able to just focus on, okay, just cooking dinner and just doing this, even, while you have so much else going on around you, and you're thinking about a bedtime routine, and you're thinking about what happened this morning, and you're thinking about what you need to pack for tomorrow for your kids, and just all of it, right? And whose appointment is coming up, and what is your appointment, and what call, it's just blah. So I'm really excited to rediscover and focus, and I hope you guys take an extra look into it. If you haven't tried it already, I encourage you guys all to try it, but most especially give it as a super treat to the person in your life who's on the spectrum, because they're going to really appreciate it. And last, that is in our pack, but it very much never least. Also, probably one of the like number ones that I suggest to people, for people in their lives who are on the spectrum, who are neurodivergent, is apothecary. My beloved apothecary. um it is so nourishing to the nervous system to be able to have apothecary before you go to sleep, and to allow your body to really get into that REM sleep. So many people who are neurodivergent or who are on the spectrum struggle with their sleep, and apothecary makes such a difference. The amount of rejuvenation and regeneration that it gives to the body and the mind um, during the night, I honestly feel like it adds hours of sleep for those who don't sleep as long. So maybe you have a kiddo on the spectrum who, is not having a great time with sleep and is only sleeping maybe 5 hours a night. And gosh, you wish they could get that 8 to 9, maybe 10. Um, and apothecary, maybe you'll only gain an hour of actual sleep, but or maybe you won't even actually gain like an hour, but the amount of restoration that the body received by drinking apothecary and getting into the deep sleep that it did within those hours, that it might not have even be getting into a deep enough REM sleep, is going to feel like you added 3 hours of sleep to that person's body and to that person's mind and their nervous system. So the antioxidants that help the inflammation for the body as well, which can also cause a lot of different symptoms for sensory processing and for communication and expressing. Apothecary really, really helps that out. Um, so that is our neurodiversity biohack pack that we are, being able to put everything into one bundle instead of having to give a list for somebody to find each product. You can get it all in one bundle now. And of course, there's other different products that we definitely um, suggest that can also support a body on the spectrum or who is neurodivergent. But those are our number one, two, three, four, and fives, the top ones that we really see make a huge difference in people's lives. And if we don't have any questions, I can share a few other products that can be helpful. But I'd like to open it up to questions before we get further.
Hello. Hi,
Hi.
Henry. um, I just want you to know I really appreciate you, and I've sat on your couch in my unicorn onesie playing ball with your daughter, and I keep saying, well, the adults talked, and I mean, y'all just made me feel really at home, even in my unicorn onesie and whatnot. But anyway, at convention, I was told that probably should, I've been experiencing a lot of, they call it coat hanger pain, I think, like down your neck and across your shoulders. And
Mm-hmm.
I've done so many things to try to get rid of it. And um, one of our leaders told me you need to detox from cortisol. So I've been doing the Be Energetic and off and on with the White American Ginseng, and what a difference. Most days I am pain free just
Wow.
by taking. I was taking to Be Energetic every morning, and it took a little bit, but wow. And then talking about safe foods, Purium can become your safe foods. Like a macaroni and cheese out of a box used to be my safe food. And now it's a green shake mixed with dark berry and a bunch of other MVP sport. Like I make the same exact shake for months on end, and then all of a sudden I'll change it and be something else, and then I'll make it the exact same for months on end. But that can become safe food too.
Aho, yes. Thank you. Thank you for uh, shining some bright light on that because you are absolutely right. And thank you for sharing about the Be Energetic and the white ginseng for the high cortisol. Because, yes, a lot of us are running on some really intense cortisol, especially people on the spectrum and who are neurodivergent because um, we are often in a fight, flight, or fawn type of mode. Uh, you know, being so overstimulated and having so much going on and trying to balance so much in processing. So thank you very much for adding that note in. We really appreciate it. And we really appreciate you. And you're always welcome. And it was a beautiful day to have you there with us. And my little girl still remembers you. And so thank you for giving her so much joy. And if anybody else has questions or yeah, a testimony of how any of these have helped you, then please do share. Otherwise, I'm gonna share a little bit more about some of our products that are supportive for those on the spectrum or who are neurodivergent. One of the other ones that we really recommend to people on the spectrum is our Fulvic Zeolite. We really recommend Fulvic Zeolite because it's a super ally in removing heavy metals from the body. And a lot of what's taking place for people on the spectrum is a buildup of heavy metals and toxins in the body. So being able to take the heavy metals out of the body is a really, really important factor. And this can be put into, drinks or shakes, and it can really be a significant ally and helpful supplement in anybody's diet that is trying to detox from some heavy metals. And if you research a little bit more about that, you'll see how much fulvic zeolite can be a game changer. And another one of our very potent allies is the ionic elements. So, although our bodies may be receiving certain foods that have nutrients and are great, it can be difficult for bodies on the spectrum, bodies who are neurodivergent, to absorb nutrients from their foods and certain minerals. There's not a lot in certain foods. And so, our ionic elements is a really powerful way to get some of those minerals and resupplemented into our body and absorbed in a more impactful way, just kind of straight to the source. And another really big benefit of the ionic elements is the magnesium that's in it can be extremely helpful for the sleep that I was talking about, and just for the body and feeling restless. The magnesium can be really, really helpful for somebody who might feel like they fidget a lot or need to be moving constantly. Some magnesium can help some of the restlessness also. So that's an important uh, product to have in your Purium cabinet. And another one that I would like to bring light to also. Um, would be our spirulina. So we have I think a couple different versions. I think we have cracked cell spirulina in just like a tablet form, am I right? Or is it powder only? But we also have the cocoa mint spirulina.
Yeah.
So
We
like
have the Proxol chlorella, and then we have spirulina in capsules as well as in powder and
right.
coconut spirulina. Yep.
Okay, yes, perfect. So, if you want to not rock a flavor type, you could just get the capsules, but the cocoa mint spirulina can be, especially in this fall winter season coming up, a fun way to make a yummy warm drink, even to get the cocoa mint spirulina. You can make it kind of a fun version of hot cocoa. Um, are also just for adults, who are neurodivergent or on the spectrum. It's really nice to have in the mornings or in the cold evenings a warm cup of cocoa mint spirulina. There's some fun ways to dress it up and have um, a yummy treat with it, per se. Um, so that's one of the other ones. The reason why spirulina I highly suggest is because it's also super helpful in detoxing from the metals, um, heavy metals, and just kind of trying to lighten the toxin load that might be occurring in the body, which might be causing a lot more symptoms, and blocking us from the superpowers that we could be accessing if we're on the spectrum. So they come here. Yeah, leave the door closed, okay? Sorry. And I believe those are the main ones I wanted to bring up to the table. Um, is there any other questions that anybody has? Oh, and I also would also highly suggest the bio relax caps can be super excellent for a sleep aid for those who are struggling with sleep.
Hi, I have a question. So like back to the zeolite, I was just wondering, because it seems like the amount of zeolite in the drops is actually like pretty low, and so I was just kind of wondering, like compared to like the other kind of zeolites on the market, like how is this like different, and Is it as effective if it's such a low dose of it?
Well, that would not be I couldn't give an exact answer to that in comparison to the other ones on the market. That might be a question for David, but
Okay.
I would say that in my experience with it, the dose is a really good for us. A lot of times been working with children, so
Mhm.
it's a great child friendly dose, and
Mhm.
um yeah, so I'd have to look at what other ones are on the market to do a comparison of my own. But that is a really excellent question. If you want to post it in some of the comments, I'm sure we could give you a more detailed answer.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious because it's combined it like the fulvic, is that like fulvic acid that it's combined with?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because I was always like so curious about that because I know that has minerals and then the zeolite binds the minerals, but it doesn't like cancel each other out. It like supposed to be more
No, it
like
helps it as the
synergistic.
removal of it,
Mm-hmm.
but no, it does not cancel it out.
Okay. I was just curious about that. Thanks.
Thank you for that question.
I have a question.
Yes.
Hi. So my kid is 9 years old and he has a lot of energy. He has autism and they also want him tested for ADHD. So he does feel like the cherry juice is helping him. But you said I don't I'm trying to think what to add next so he sleeps earlier because I heard you mention the white ginseng and the be energetic, but then I feel like he'll probably just be more wired. So maybe you're saying biorelax, um
Yeah,
fulvic
I
light.
wouldn't do
But
sorry, go ahead. I think it's just a slow connection. I thought it had paused, but go ahead, please.
no, go ahead. You could answer it.
Oh, I was just gonna say I wouldn't recommend the Be Energetic and white ginseng before bed. No. That was another comment just of how to help lower cortisol in the body, but not necessarily as a sleep aid before bed. Before bed I would, yeah, if they really have a tough time, I would recommend I wouldn't recommend, I would suggest the apothecary with and the relax caps, and depending on the age of the person, I was the next product I was going to say was pineal clear, which is also really helps with a little bit more tranquility and restful sleep. But and the magnesium and the ionic elements also helps for a more restful sleep. Those were the products for that. But it sounded like you might have had more to your question if you wanted to go a little bit further with it.
Anna, you're muted if you wanted to unmute again.
Yeah. So with adding products, is it good to just I guess part of it is like, do I do all of it at once, do the bio relapse and then also the fulvic and the ionic elements, or should I just add one product um at a time, like in a third, like figuring out how do I schedule all those products?
Um, that's a good question, and we could try to write out something and post it maybe on our Million Mom Movement page. But for a quick answer right now, I would do the fulvic zeolite at a different time of the day, adding it maybe into a drink or a smoothie that they prefer. And then I would do for nighttime, be doing the apothecary, mixing the ionic elements in it, and depending on the age of the child and their ability to swallow capsules, putting the relax caps either in something, or if they're able to take it, then they could take that.
Okay, it's 9, so maybe I'll do the fulvic light in the morning and then the bio. You said that evening is bio relax and the ionic elements.
Ionic elements and
Okay.
apothecary.
Okay. Thank you.
And Anna, did you have another? Okay, so Megan, I see that your hand is raised. If
Hi.
you'd like to go.
Yeah, I have a question. So, do you find that kids taking the neurodiversity biopack, I know that that collection is new, but do kids tend to have die-off with any of the products, like with the green spectrum, that's, detoxing, and the spirulina, that's detoxing. So my son actually has something called PANS for pandas,
Yeah.
at least what it's called. I know that basically his story, he was completely normal, typical, thriving, wonderful. He's our third child. At 5 years old, he completely just regressed into a state of like sensory autism, you name it, all kinds of stuff, and just was completely taken from us, just gone. And so we've been fighting for the last 3 years to get him back, and thank God he's coming back, after having doctors sit there and tell us, yeah, he'll probably never talk to you again. And it's totally normal to have, just get autism when you're 5 years old. That can happen. Late set autism, it can happen. And I'm like, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. That's not my kid. That's not going to be his life and whatever. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, I know that he definitely, when we do certain detoxes with him, he has a reaction. So I'm just wondering if with this pack, do you think that kids get that? Do they need a binder or, yeah.
Well, first, I just want to say, like, bravo for being just such a fierce warrior mama for your boy and for, just following your intuition and following your heart and doing the very best for him. So, like,
Yeah.
bravo so much.
Appreciate that.
Thank you for doing that. And what I really appreciate about our products, the spirulina, and the green spectrum, is it's so gentle. It's not like taking stuff that, just is like immediately dropping things out of the body. It's a much more gentle. In my experience, I have not seen major die-off reactions, but if you would like to email us or talk more about exactly how we could work with your son and his specific body to be sure that he doesn't experience that, then yeah, I'm sure David and I would love to talk to you more about that to help you guys out.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's something I definitely would have done and may still do. We're working with a specialist that deals with this, and we've been through so many different things, but we really feel like God has us in the right spot right now. Like we are seeing so many amazing benefits with what he's doing. And so yeah, but
I agree.
that's great to know that it's gentle. And I mean, I would, it's extremely expensive. It's confusing. It's so hard. Like the journey has been so hard. But I think that this PAX, especially, this would have been an answer to prayer. Like if I would have known about this before. So I think it's amazing. I'm excited to be able to share this with people that um, I know come to me for advice because they know my story and they know Cameron's story. So I think it's
Well,
amazing that you guys came up with this. Thank you.
well, thank you so much for that. I mean, that's pure inspiration to me, just myself, because yeah, part of my purpose and mission, I feel like, is being able to support families with these products and also show them how we can support them uh, uh, with abundance to be able to not even have to think twice about price and just be like, bam, here it is for us, and be able to share that with all other families so that we're all just being abundant in what we need for ourselves and just be able to just give it to ourselves and to our children. And so I think it's one of the biggest things that I can be doing right now in this world. So thanks for the inspiration to making sure that like more families um, can really understand how we can get this in their bodies, but also share it with everybody and be producing residual income to be able to not have to think about prices even, right? So thank you for sharing that. It's so important.
Thank you.
Alrighty, we are coming to the top of the hour. We have about 10 more minutes. Um, I have another product that I want to share a little bit about, and It's more for adults, I would say, on the spectrum or who are neurodivergent, or just depending on each parent's discretion. But the pineal clear is a also super helper for active minds who have a lot of racing, who tend to feel a lot of anxiety and are seeking more tranquility in their day-to-day lives. The pineal clear is super helpful, and I've heard from people who are autistic and taking this product that they've just really been able to tap into their own creations and visions and um, creative sides more, and see things much more clearly and feel more balanced when pineal clear is in their daily routine or nightly routine, uh, because that's awesome of it. It can go either or day or night. So this is a really potent ally as well if um, you are open to it for your child, or also for adults. It's really great. Um, and I believe that's where I want to wrap this up. If there is anybody else who has a share or who has questions, this is such a deep and expansive topic in one, because there's a lot that goes into autism and neurodivergence and how it all becomes. But to summarize where we were with this, is it epigenetics or is it our genes? We really feel that you can have a gene, and the way that that gene is expressed and the way that we live in our highest potentials and are able to thrive in our lives and in our bodies is played by the epigenetics and of what our environment and what our nutrition is, and how we can be aware of what's going on with ourselves so we can support ourselves in all the best ways and be able to avoid uh harming ourselves in all the toxic ways. So I really appreciate everybody coming on to this call so we could learn and grow more together, and so we could share this information with anybody in your life that might be seeking more answers, seeking more tools to add on to their tool belt of feeling, thank you, sweetheart, of feeling thriving in their lives and being able to tap into all that they have to offer our world right now. And we all know that we could use all the superpowers we need. So let's get everybody feeling really good and really healthy. And so we're all able to offer our gifts right now because we all need each other. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to uh, say them now or drop them in the chat. I'm not so good technical wise, but I can try to see what's
I have a
going on here.
question. It's Anna again. So the green spectrum, are all the ingredients in the green spectrum in the green shake? Is there-
Um, that is an excellent question. I believe that they are. I believe that they are, but I think that there is a different amount. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
So the potency level is different from what is in the um can you guys see me? I touched something.
I could see you.
Okay, great. I don't have to see anything as long as you guys can see me. Yeah, the potency would be different. I think the amounts of what's in them is different versus what's in the power shake. And obviously there's a lot less in the green spectrum. So it helps to avoid any sensitivities that people might have.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Anna Marie, for such a beautiful presentation. And thank you, everybody, for coming and sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us and asking your questions. It's been such a beautiful presentation today. And we want to invite you to come back every week and participate in our community. If this is the first time attending a Million Mom Movement Zoom or watching a replay, we want to invite you to reach back out to the person that shared this with you, because they really care a whole lot about you and want to share this mission and vision and purpose with you, to just really give our bodies all the tools to thrive. And so you can see here our schedule for the rest of the month. We have our fourth Thursday will be around family health. So next week, please join us for our cancer awareness, childhood cancer awareness presentation, where we're really going to be talking about fighting childhood cancer one bite at a time, really helping us to thrive in our bodies that way. And we would like to also invite you to like, follow, and share and become a part of our community. So you can go ahead and join our Facebook community, follow our page where the events for these weekly presentations are posted. You can join our Million Mom Movement official Facebook group, where we invite you to be a part of the community. Come go live in there, share your testimonials, share what's working for you, share your recipes, really make it fun and participate as part of the community in that group. And then, of course, follow us on Instagram, tag us on your posts and stories so that I can share your content with the rest of the community and we can all inspire each other. And then last but not least, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we have over 300 replays for you to go and get inspired and share with your community. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here today. And please come back next week.